softly tonight, just a whisper on the windshield. The kind that doesn't wash away the dust, only moves it around, smearing the truth thin. You sit alone in the patrol unit, engine humming. Outside, the lot is empty. The only movement comes from the shadows, curling against the gas station floodlights like shy animals. Your shift started 2 hours ago, but it feels like the night has been waiting for you, waiting in silence, waiting for someone who still listens. Your hands rest on the steering wheel, the leather worn smooth in the spots where instinct and fear always meet. Your partner called out again. That makes 4 nights in a row. And nobody's saying it, but you know why? It's the calls that don't get written down. The dispatch pings you at 11:58 p.m., almost exactly. An abandoned trailer park on the edge of the county line. No known occupants. Caller hung up. No return number, no address. Just strange, heavy breathing on the recorded line. You reply with the usual code. The voice in your throat is steady, but your fingers twitch when you reach for the ignition. The rain thickens as you drive. Not a storm, just persistent. A light drumming on the hood, like someone tapping from the other side. By the time you reach the trailer park, the world feels paused. No wind, no birds, no movement in the trees. The trailers are all dark except one, Unit 7B. Its porch light is on, casting a pale yellow halo through the rain. You kill the engine, step out, boots, meet gravel. Water slips down your neck, cold as a hand. The flashlight cuts through the dark like a scalpel. Inside the window, a chair facing the door. Empty. You knocked once. Twice, no answer. But the door swings open anyway. The air inside is warm, too warm, and it smells faintly of cigarettes and engine oil. There's no one in the chair, only a tape recorder on the table, already playing. You walk toward it. Its reel spins. The voice that comes out isn't yours. It isn't dispatch. It isn't the missing deputy either. It's something deeper. Keep moving, it says. A whisper from inside the coil. Keep your eyes open. They don't like when you stop. Click, static, breath, laughter. You shut the recorder off. But the sound doesn't stop. You realize now it's not coming from the machine. It's coming from the radio on your belt. The one you switched off before you knocked. You back away, out into the rain. The porch light blinks once, twice, goes dead, and in the silence, you hear the unmistakable shuffle of feet dragging just behind you, bare, wet, slow. You turn, nothing there, nothing you can see anyway. You get in the cruiser, lock the doors, turn the key. The engine won't start. Static floods the CB speaker. And under the hiss, you hear it again. Unit 3. Do you copy? The voice is yours. But you never said those words. Not tonight, not yet. You hit the ignition again. The engine roars. The wipers swipe away rain and reflection. You drive fast, and as the highway unfolds before you, you try not to look in the rear view, because you know what's back there. You always knew the stories no one logs, the voices no one admits they heard, the things you can't file in a report, the ones that tell you to forget. But you can't forget, because the rain keeps falling, and the static never stops, spinning in and out between bursts of silence. You try not to think about the trailer. You try not to think about the smell, or the recorder playing your voice when it shouldn't have existed. But the moment you glance at your mirror, a flash of yellow light pulses from far behind. The porch light, back on. You don't turn around. You don't stop. You focus on the road ahead, black ribbons soaked in rainfall, reflections trembling like ghosts just beneath the surface. Your name flickers on the CB. Unit 3. Come in, not your name, not your badge number, your actual name, the one dispatch never uses. You freeze. The mic is still turned off. The voice on the line isn't yours. The rain turns hard. Each drop hits the cruiser, like a warning, like fingers drumming on a coffin lid. Wipers squeal across the glass in tired arcs. They can't keep up. The dash light glows a faint amber. The gas tank needle ticks lower than you remember. You pass the mile marker for County Line Road, and something in your gut tugs sideways. That's where the call came from. That's where she said, "He's still knocking." And that's where the line went dead. You pull onto the gravel shoulder. It crunches, soft and wet. You click off the headlights, leaving only the faint glow of the cabin light and the red dash display. A shack sits about 30 yards ahead, barely visible in the mist. Its roof sags like it's tired of standing, porch light dead, windows black. A single plastic chair rests beside the door, turned toward the woods like someone was watching something move out there, waiting for it to come closer. You step out. Boots sink slightly into mud, the smell of wet wood and rotting moss clinging to your throat. Flashlight in hand, you cross the gravel. You already know what you'll find, but you check anyway. Protocol, the door is cracked open, hinges breathing a slow metallic moan in the wind. Inside, the shack is colder than the outside. You can feel it the moment you step across the threshold. The air presses on your skin, heavy, thick, and wet. A small table sits in the center of the room. A rotary phone rests on it, off the hook. The receiver sways slowly, as if just placed down. A faint beep repeats, dot line dead. You check the corners. No one there, but the chair on the porch. You didn't hear it fall. You step back outside. Light, sweeping left, then right. The chair is gone. Mud prints lead away into the trees. Bare feet, small dot child, dash-sized, and you follow. Because what else is there to do? The trail weaves into the forest. Your flashlight beam cuts a tunnel through the wet air. The trees crowd in, trunks slick and glistening, dripping like they're bleeding. Rain, branches claw at your arms. The squelch of your boots in the soaked underbrush is the only sound, until at ISN single quotes, Toft, just ahead. It trickles between the trees like it's part of the wind. You stop, breathe. It's a girl's laugh, too cheerful for a night like this, too perfect, too wrong. You raise your voice steady, calm, practiced. "This is Officer Vega. Is someone out here? I can help you." Silence. Then the same laughter, closer this time, and beneath it, the low rustle of something shifting through wet leaves. Not a run, not a scramble, a crawl. You take 2 steps forward, knees tensing, heart pounding, and then your flashlight flickers. Once, twice, dies. Darkness complete. You breathe through your teeth. One hand reaches for the radio. Still dead. You turn, begin retracing your steps. The beam clicks back on for a heartbeat just enough to show you the trail you thought you followed is gone. Just trees now, no prints, no trail, no sound. Then, a whisper right behind your ear. "You're not supposed to be here." You spin. No. One. Not even air, just the cold. You stumble backward, catching your breath, and something crunches beneath your boot. You point the light down, a sheriff's badge, old, half-rusted, the nameplate scratched beyond recognition. You kneel. Pick it up. And that's when the light swings again and lands on the chair. The same plastic chair from the porch, now here in the center of the woods. Facing you, empty, you run. You don't remember the sprint back to the cruiser. Only the sound, the wet slaps of barefoot steps beside you, never behind. Always just to your left, like a shadow keeping pace. You burst from the trees. Soaked, panting, shoes caked in black mud. The cruiser's dome light clicks on as if it's been watching, waiting. You jump inside. Lock the doors. Try the ignition. It roars to life without hesitation. Too fast, too willing. The radio flickers. CB light blinks red. No buttons touched. A voice filters through. Unit 3, status check. Do you see the chair? You don't respond. The rain falls harder. You put the cruiser in drive, and as you pull back onto FM 1023, you glance once into the rearview mirror. The chair sits dead center in the road behind you, facing the woods, facing you, waiting. You drive. You don't slow. You don't stop, because now you understand. These aren't calls you answer. These are invitations to listen, to return, and to remember what everyone else wants to forget. The girl, the chair, the badge, the breathing. You check the dash. The clock says 2:11 a.m. Still hours to go. Still more whispers to come. Still more static to hear. Because out here, in the rain, some things follow the silence. And some calls were never meant to be answered. The rain lets up just after 2:30 a.m. Not that it matters. The air still clings to your skin like damp fabric, thick with dust and something sweeter underneath, the kind of smell you only notice on nights like this, the kind that doesn't belong. Your hands haven't stopped trembling, not from the cold, not from the run, from the knowing. Because once you hear it, once it gets inside you, you understand why no one talks about those calls. The chair, the girl, the voice that knew your name without asking. You glance at the passenger seat. The notebook rests open where you left it. Half a page of scribbled notes, all of them already smeared by wet fingers. You flip to a new sheet. Click your pen. 2:37 a.m. FM 1023. Trailer call revisited. No power, no persons located. Plastic chair relocated on its own. Female laughter heard. Possible hallucination due to fatigue. But you cross that last line out. You know better. You re-enter the highway heading east. The tires hum beneath you, steady and low, like some kind of machine language whispering in Morse code. You try. The radio again. Nothing but breath. You kill it. The moonlight cuts through the cloud cover in slivers now. Just enough to catch the side mirror and blind you in short bursts. Your eyes are dry. You haven't blinked in too long. As the highway bends, you catch sight of a county marker, CR17 for miles. The name flashes in your memory before you're ready for it. That's the road with the fire tower, the one that dispatched flagged last week. Caller said he heard screaming from the tower. No smoke, no fire, just a scream. When the deputy arrived, the tower was empty, and by morning that deputy quit. No report filed, no audio logged, just a resignation letter signed with shaking hands and no explanation. You didn't ask questions. Back then, you thought it was burnout. Now, you're not so sure. You turn down County, Road 17. Without thinking, the headlights hit the tree line like a searchlight, and everything inside seems to freeze in place. The fog rolls low here, hugging the gravel like it's afraid to rise. And the further you drive, the more the road narrows. The fire tower appears after 2 sharp bends, a rusted metal silhouette, piercing the fog at its base. The gate stands open, padlock dangling, unbroken, just open. Your boots hit the gravel again. Flashlight in hand, you make your way to the stairs. The metal groans with each step. You count them, 22. Then the platform, then the hatch that the handle is warm. You don't want it to be. You raise your light. The room at the top is still, no movement, no flame, just a single folding chair and a pair of muddy boots facing the window. No person, just boots. Sitting too neatly, you step closer. The floor creaks beneath you. There's a smell here like matches and old sweat, the kind of scent left behind by adrenaline and time. On the desk, a handheld radio, still on, still transmitting. You pick it up. The speaker flares to life. He comes when it's quiet. A man's voice, then nothing. Just that same hiss, the kind that sounds like ocean surf filtered through a broken speaker. You lower the radio. Something moves outside. A figure below the tower, standing where your cruiser was. Your breath catches in your throat. But it's not just the figure, it's what's beside him. Another pair of boots, empty, wet, facing the tower, facing you. You move fast down the steps, boots clanging against rusted metal. The air rushes past your ears, but the silence is louder. By the time your feet hit the dirt, the figure is gone, but the boots remain. They sit upright, undisturbed, like someone stepped out of them, mid-dash stride. You reach out, fingers shaking. You touch one, it's warm, still holding heat, still holding something else. Your radio flares again, this time from your belt. Stop logging it. The voice is flat, not a whisper, not a growl, a fact, a statement, like a warning or a rule. You back toward the cruiser. The fog thickens now. It wraps around the trees like a lover. The tower above you groans like it's exhaling. You get in the car, lock the doors. Your notebook lies open, pen resting across the page. The notes you'd written before, gone. The ink is there, but the words are gibberish, scribbles, overlapping lines like spiderwebs. You blink, and for a second, only a second, you see a message form from the scrawl. He was never alone. You drive back to the highway. Fast, the tires skip over loose gravel, but you keep control. Your fingers ache from the grip. At the next stop sign, you pull off. Turn the dome light on. Take out your backup journal, write by hand. CR17, fire tower radio, still transmitting. Voice said, he comes when it's quiet. Visual of boots with retained heat. No personnel on site. Additional message intercepted. He was never alone. You pause. And then add ink from earlier entry, altered, replaced. Writing erased. Must keep notes separately. Must keep moving. You click off the pen, fold the page, slip it into your inner jacket pocket next to your badge. The CB clicks again, but this time it doesn't speak. It just breathes. The static never stops. You pull back onto the road. A mile ahead, the green sign looms. Marathon 16, Milius you press. The accelerator, eyes forward. Mind churning. You've been a deputy for a long time. You've heard every excuse, every weird call, every frightened voice on the other end of the line. But none of those ever made your own voice answer when you hadn't spoken. None of those left boots behind that felt like they'd only just been stepped out of. None of those erased your words. From a journal you wrote with your own hand. You glance in the mirror. Nothing behind. You dot just rain, just darkness, just the long stretch of empty road that always seems to follow you. You try the CB one last time. Voice low, calm, dispatch, unit 3, just checking. Is anybody else on duty tonight? Static. Then they were, but they stopped. And you know whatever's keeping track out here. It's not human, and it doesn't sleep. And it sure as hell doesn't want you writing things down, so you drive, eyes ahead. Hands steady, because you've still got time before sunrise, and the next call is coming. You just hope this time someone picks up. The gaslight flickers on just past 3:11 a.m. It's a soft orange glow, gentle, almost polite, but it changes the rhythm of your heart, because it means you'll have to stop, and stops, lately. They haven't been safe. The next marked gas station is 14 miles out, a little rusted box off Highway 385, barely clinging to the edge of the county line. You've fueled there before, only once. You remember the pump numbers were all wrong, stationed out of order, cracked labels peeling. Like old skin, you remember the air smelled like wet copper, and the clerk never spoke. You don't want to go back, but you don't have a choice. The cruiser hums, engine soft as a lullaby now, cruising through mist and ghostlight rain. The road curves, and the station rises out of the fog like something half buried. A faded canopy, a flickering sign that used to read Sully's Fuel, now missing the L and Y. You ease in slow. Gravel crunches under the tires. No other cars, no lights inside, but Pumper blinks, welcoming you, waiting. You step out. The rain has turned cold again, needles on your skin. The wind smells like ozone and burned rubber. You try the card reader, dead. You reach for the nozzle. It's warm, like someone just used it, and the rubber glove that hangs from the handle, still dripping. You look around, nothing but shadows. You try the door to the station. Locked. You knock, once, twice, nothing. You start to turn back toward the cruiser. When you hear it, the bell, the one that dings when someone walks inside. But the door hasn't moved. You step to the window, palm flat against the glass. It's empty in there, just shelves of expired gum, a dead fan and a single chair behind the counter, facing away from the register, facing the back wall, and in that chair. You swear you see the edge of a shoulder, still, rigid, listening. The rain quickens. You're soaked now, but you step around the side of the station, checking the alley. It smells worse back here, like hot iron and mildew, like something buried, and there near the air compressor is a man, leaning against the wall, hands deep in his jacket pockets. Head down, not moving. You shine the flashlight. He doesn't flinch. Sir, you call. No answer. You step closer. Sir, this is a restricted area. Are you in need of medical? He raises a hand. Only slightly, but it stops you cold, because there's something wrong with his skin. Too pale, too stretched, and his fingers are wrong, like they've been flattened, filed down by something mechanical. You take a half step back. The man speaks. Voice dry, paper thin. He pumps your gas, but he never leaves the booth. Then his head lifts, just enough for you to see. His face isn't real, it's painted. Eyes drawn in marker, mouth smeared in a charcoal line. The mask doesn't smile, it just stares. Then he turns and walks into the wall. Not around, into the brick, doesn't crumble, doesn't ripple. He simply disappears, like a shadow folding inward. You don't breathe again until you're in the cruiser. You try the ignition, the engine stutters, dies. You try again, same, outside. The pump light blinks for long, one short. For long, one short. 4-1. 4-1, you recognize the rhythm now. Come, stay. You reach for the radio. Nothing. No static now. Just absence. You sit in the dark, hand on the wheel, and realize the glove from the pump is gone, soaked into the gravel, or maybe never there. The CB crackles. You jump, but it's only breathing. Then he knows your name now. A child's voice, sweet but flat. You fumble with the mic. Who is this? The voice replies, cheerful now. You're already logged. You just don't remember. The cruiser light flickers. The pump dies. Everything goes black for exactly 3 seconds. When the lights return, the pump reads, paid, $6.66, and the gauge, full. You didn't touch the pump, didn't hear the gas flow, but it's full, and now you understand. That station doesn't sell fuel. It records things, your name, your face, your plate, maybe more, maybe your intentions, maybe your fear. You pull out without another glance, back to the road, back to the quiet. But as the station disappears in your rear view, you hear the ding again, the bell from a store that was locked, closed, empty. But now it opens just for you. Your breath slows. You write nothing this time. You leave the notebook shut, because something inside you says, don't write it down, not this one. Some stories, you carry others. They carry you. You look at the gas gauge, still full, but your stomach empty, like the part of you that knew how to explain things has left the booth right along with him. The rain has faded again, but the road is still slick. Each curve reflects the moonlight like a blade, and your hands, though steady, don't quite loosen from the wheel. Not yet. The gas is full. The cruiser hums like it always has, but you're not fooled. You know when the quiet gets too thick. Something's waiting in it. The last turnoff before Sanderson is a narrow path barely marked by signage. A wooden arrow leans crooked, words carved deep but half-rotted. St. Mar. EST 1883. You almost miss it. But the moment you do, your headlights flicker once, just once, as if to say, you were supposed to go there. You pull in. The gravel path curves up a hill, thick with overgrowth on either side. Trees bend inward like they're shielding something. Church stands at the top. Whitewashed wood. Small bell. No cars in the lot. No lights in the windows. Just a faint glow behind the stained glass, like someone forgot to turn off a candle inside. You check the time, 3:44a.m. Late for mass, early for confession. Still, you step out, flashlight in hand, boots, crunching on moss and dirt and something else. Dried petals. A trail of them leads from the steps to the side door. Old marigolds, crushed and rain-wilted. You follow them. The door is open. No creak, no resistance. Inside, the air is too dry, too warm. It smells like copper and old wood polish. The pews are empty, the altar untouched. But a voice murmurs from below beneath the floorboards, a woman's voice, soft, measured, like she's reading something aloud. Scripture, maybe. You follow it down a narrow stairwell near the organ. The concrete steps descend deeper than they should, lower than the church's foundations could possibly go. The voice gets louder, but you still can't make out the words. Your flashlight dims slightly. You smack it once, it flares, then calms. At the bottom, a wooden door, no knob, just a metal ring. You grasp it, it's warm. Inside the basement, the air changes, cooler now, but thick like exhale caught in fabric. The light reveals brick walls stained with damp, and a circle of chairs in the middle of the room. 5 of them. 4 are occupied. You freeze, each figure sits still, facing inward. No one moves. No one speaks, except the 5th chair. Empty, but the voice is coming from there. Still soft, still female, and the others. They wear uniforms, like yours. Old Texas deputy patches, faded by time. You see one man's badge still pinned, glinting, weakly in your light. But they don't respond. Not when you call out. Not when you step. Closer you raise the light. That 5th chair. It's not empty now. There's a notebook resting on it, leather-bound, open to the first page. You step forward, slowly. The voice continues to read, but the mouth it belongs to is nowhere to be seen. You kneel, eyes on the page. It's your handwriting, your pen strokes, your shorthand. But you've never seen this book. And the first entry. Unit 3 logged at St. Marigold's basement. Observed prior patrol officers unresponsive. Voice encountered with no visible source. Do not speak, do not sit. You freeze, and then one of the seated figures turns their head, slowly, mechanically, eyes wide, dry, and you realize they're not alive, not fully, not anymore. The voice grows louder now, angrier, insistent. Do not write this down. Do not sit in his seat. You've already heard the whisper. You back away. The flashlight swings across the wall, and for a second you see yourself. A mirror, not a reflection, a photo. Pinned under glass, of you. Standing just like this. Looking just like this. Dated 1 month ago. You run up the stairs. 2 at a time. The whisper chases you. Words twisted now. He remembers you. He watches those who try to remember him. The front door slams before you reach it. But it doesn't matter. You don't stop. You throw your shoulder against it. Wood shatters inward. Cold air floods your lungs. The lot is empty. The petals are gone. You sprint to the cruiser. Engine turns. Lights up. You don't look back. Not until you're halfway down the hill. Then you check the mirror. A single figure stands in the doorway of the church, wearing your face, holding the notebook, smiling like someone who's already read the ending. You don't speak. You don't call it in. You just drive. Harder now. Faster until the trees vanish and the land flattens out again. Until the church becomes a memory you wish you hadn't collected. You find a turnout. Kill the lights. Hands shaking. You reach into your jacket. Pull out your real notebook. It's still blank. Every page you'd filled before. Gone. Replaced with one line written in your own hand. I sat down. The static never stops. You flip to the next page. Fresh. Untouched. You click the pen, and you write anyway, because not writing is worse. You've seen what happens when you forget, and the ones who forget, they always go back. The dashboard clock says 4:06 a.m. technically. Your shift's almost over. You should be heading back toward the station, filing the reports, draining a paper cup of weak coffee in the break room, staring at a wall that no longer makes you feel safe, but you don't turn back. You keep driving, because something's changed. You're not on patrol anymore. You're being followed, not by headlights, not by a vehicle, but by a rhythm, a pattern you can feel in the weight of the air, in the timing of the calls, in the silences that no longer seem like dead air. They feel like breath, waiting for you to speak. You switch your CB back to the default. Dispatch channel, it hisses. You've grown used to that sound like gravel dragged through wet cloth, but now there's something else inside it. A voice, yours, softer, slower, looping. Unit 3 to dispatch. Do you copy? You didn't say it. Not now, but there it is, echoing back like a memory pulled from an old tape. Then the reply, copy, Unit 3. What's your 20? But that's not dispatch. Not the one you know. Not her. The voice is wrong. Even too clear. No background noise. No typing. No hum of the room behind the speaker. And no name. Your dispatcher always ends with her. Name dot, always dot you. Pick up the mic. voicesteady.com. Professional. This is Unit 3. Confirming dispatcher identity. A pause, then identity confirmed. Listening, not go ahead, not stand by, just that, listening. Like the voice was waiting to be acknowledged, like it had always been there. You glance down at your radio panel. Every light is green dot, every dial set to normal. But you don't trust it. You ask again. Confirm time and date stamp on this frequency. Another pause. Then time is continuous. Date is irrelevant. You are being heard. You grip the mic tighter. Who are you? This time the reply is immediate. I am the echo. I log what others erase. Your skin prickles. Goosebumps run your arms. You realize, suddenly, that all the missing logs, all the erased audio, it wasn't deleted. It was taken, catalogued, held by this thing dot, this echo, not human, not entirely machine. A presence riding the wires, sitting between broadcast and record, and now it's speaking directly to you. You pull over, hard shoulder, kill the headlights. The night breathes in around you. Your hands sweat against the wheel. Are you responsible, you ask? A beat then, no. I am aftermath. I clean what they bleed. Your mouth dries. You don't know who they are. You don't want to, but the echo keeps going. You are not like the others. You still move. You still write. That is why I have kept your voice. You ask the only thing that matters now. Where are they? The ones who stopped moving. A silence, deeper than before. Then some were claimed. Some were hollowed. Some became me. You reach for your pen. Open your notebook, fresh page. You begin to write for 12 a.m. Intercepted CB anomaly. Non-human dispatcher engaged. Self-identified as echo. Claims to log erased transmissions. Knows about missing deputies. Implies sentience. Then you pause and add, it repeats my voice. Not just my words. My breath, my tone, my doubt. I think it's been recording me since the first call. Since the girl in the woods. You underline the last sentence twice. Then the echo speaks again. Do not document this. Transmission. Your blood freezes. It knows this page will be blank by sunrise. It says, you shut the notebook hard, slip it under your thigh like that could stop it from vanishing. You hit the mic again. I don't care who you are. I want the recordings. I want proof. This time, it laughs. But it's not just sound, it's a mechanical distortion of your own laugh, filtered, delayed, like you're listening to yourself in a room, full of tape recorders, all playing back at different speeds. Then, proof was never the point. Movement is keep moving, and then the line dies. Not with a click. With a sigh, a breath from the other side. The same one you heard back at the station, at the trailer, at the fire tower. You sit there for a long time. The world around you has gone silent. Even the rain has stopped, like it's afraid of what might speak next. Eventually, you drive, because you don't know what else to do. Not anymore. The pages of your notebook begin to itch. You flip to the one you just wrote. The ink is still there, but it feels thinner, like it's already fading, like the words are being remembered. Wrong, you click your pen and write a single line at the bottom. If these entries are ever gone, that means it's winning. You keep the notebook open now. Let it rest. On the dash, let the engine vibrate the page. Let the world feel the ink hum beneath your hand. You drive until the sun threatens the edge of the sky. Not quite dawn, but almost. And still no birds, no wind, just you and the echo. Somewhere in the wires, watching your pen, breathing between your words, and waiting for the moment you finally stop moving. It's 4:34 a.m. The sky is the color of old bruises. Not light yet, not dark enough to hide behind. You turn off the highway just west of Dry Fork. The road is thin here, barely a line of tar holding together gravel and ghosts. Barbed wire fences snake off in either direction, marking land no one's claimed in years. You don't remember why you turned down this way. You just knew you needed to. Sometimes that's all it takes. You slow as you approach the ditch. Something shifts in the high grass. You think coyote at first, a shape low to the ground. Fast, twitching dot. But then it stands. It's a child, a boy, standing ankle deep in rainwater at the bottom of the ditch. His reflection rippling in the puddle he doesn't step out of. He's maybe 10, barefoot, pajamas soaked, hands by his sides. UNMOVING.U. Stop the cruiser, don't single quotes, tote, cut the engine. You reach for the mic, but then you remember what happened last time you called it in. What answered, so you step out. Flashlight raised. The ditch glows under the beam. The boy looks up, and that's when your breath stops. Because it's not that he's scared, or hurt, or cold. It's that his face is completely blank, expressionless, empty, like no one ever taught it how to feel. You kneel at the edge of the ditch. Voice calm, "Hey buddy. You all right? What's your name?" He doesn't speak, just tilts his head, not in confusion. In study, like he's watching you watch him, learning how to respond. You try again. "Did you get separated from someone? I can help you get home." The boy blinks, slow, deliberate. Then finally he says, "I'm not supposed to talk to myself." You freeze. What do you mean by that? He shrugs and lifts his right hand. He's holding something. You train the light. It's a badge, your badge. You check your chest. Yours is still pinned, still there. You glance back at the cruiser, still empty, still parked, but the boy's hand doesn't lie. He's holding your badge, not a copy, not a replica yours. Same scratches, same wear on the clasp. You reach forward. "Where did you get that?" He opens his mouth, and a voice that is not his comes out. "I told you not to stop." You stumble. Back the flashlight slips, lands in the water, fizzes, dies. The boy takes a step forward. You retreat to the cruiser, door open, engine purring. You dive inside, lock it, but you can't drive, because he's standing in front of the car now, hands at his sides again, rain dripping from his chin. And behind him is another boy, identical, same pajamas, same haircut, same badge in hand, then a third, then a fourth, all stepping out of the ditch, silent, wide, dash-eyed, and every one of them, younger versions of you, shift into reverse, hit the gas, spin the cruiser around in a spray of gravel, the tires scream, the road curves, the boys disappear behind the trees, but in your rearview mirror, your badge is gone, from your chest, from your uniform. You pat yourself down, nothing. You look at the dashcam, still recording, but blinking in an odd rhythm now. ... dash 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 ... double quotes move. You speed north, back onto the highway, but now everything feels heavier, like the cruiser is dragging something. You check the rear view. Again, no one there. Still, you feel it. That presence, a weight in the back seat, an echo of a breath not your own. You reach back without looking. Your fingers brush something soft, fabric, wet. You whip around, nothing there. Backseat empty, but the air, it smells like dirt and youth, the way your room smelled when you were 8, and afraid to turn off the light. You hit the mic, low voice, measured, dispatch. This is Unit 3. Possible juvenile sightings at mile marker 218, near Dry Fork. Requesting. Second unit. Static, then the echo's voice replies. You already responded to that call. You grit your teeth. No, I didn't. This is the first you did. At 3:18 a.m. you found him. You stopped moving. Your heart pounds. You glance at your notebook. The last entry is gone, in its place. Just one line, written in childlike scrawl. Don't leave me again. You grab a pen, try to cross it out. The ink won't stick. You write something new, it fades. You slam the book shut, flip the dome light on, off. On you. Check the mirrors, all clear, and yet your chest feels hollow. Like something's missing. Like something small and scared is hiding under your ribs. Like a boy in a ditch, who was never really found. You keep driving. The tires rumble on. The sun still refuses to rise, and somewhere, deep in the ditches along this godforsaken highway, a child that wears your face waits for you to stop again, waits for the moment you rest, and he can climb inside, what's left of your memory, and live there forever. The static never stops. You don't stop either, not now, ever, because you remember his voice now, the real one, before it was stolen by the echo. It sounded like yours, just younger, just broken. And you realize with a chilly you didn't find him. You left him, and now he's looking for a way back in. The highway flattens as you pass through the scrublands east of Lobo. The sky is the color of faded steel, no stars left now. Just a thin glow on the horizon, a warning that the sun might eventually rise, whether you're ready or not. You check the clock, 4:57 a.m., a strange hour, too late to be night, too early to be morning, the space between, the time when memories stretch long, when you start to wonder if the things you saw in the last 6 hours were ever real, or if your mind just rearranged the shadows into fear. You reach for the knob on the cruiser's old AM/FM unit. A habit, you rotate the dial without thought. FM 89.1, then 93.4, then -97.6. It catches. No music, no voice, just nothing. Not even static, just dead air. And yet, You can feel it, like standing next to a speaker that's turned off but still humming. Like something behind the silence is waiting for you to listen long enough, to let your mind go still enough. And then something comes through, a sound, faint, distant, metallic chimes, wind chimes, maybe. But there's no wind. You slow the cruiser. Turn the volume dial up. The chimes stop. A woman's voice comes through, soft, detached, like someone reading a bedtime story in a soundproof room. He saw the road fall away beneath him. He knew the exit was gone, but he kept driving because the road still remembered him. You turn the knob back, forth, but the voice doesn't change. Every frequency now plays her, every station, all her, and her voice, it's not recorded, it's live. Who is this? You say aloud, no mic keyed, just your voice in the cab. The radio answers anyway. You've been listening to 97.6, where stories go when no one else remembers them. A jingle plays, out of tune, like an old tape melted in the sun. Then silence, then your own voice. Unit 3, CR17, fire tower secure. Possible visual, a figure below. No contact, continuing patrol. You freeze. That's your voice from 2 hours ago, but you never logged that, never said it aloud. You only wrote it, and even that entry has vanished. You hit the brakes. Cruiser rolls to a stop by a cattle fence. The horizon behind you is empty. Ahead, a crossroads you don't remember. You shift into park. Turn the radio off. Silence. Then it turns itself back on. Click.fm 97.6. The voice returns. He's getting closer now. Don't turn off the light. He only visits when it's quiet. You reach for the volume, but the knob's gone. Just as smooth. Surface where the dial used to be. You check the dash. The lights are dimmer. Your reflection in the rear view is off. To still, it blinks when you don't. The voice continues. They tried to record it, tried to trap it in magnetic tape. But it knows, it always knows who's listening. A burst of static, then another voice. Yours again, but younger, hesitant. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have turned back. You remember that line, but you didn't say it over the radio. You thought it, back at the ditch, back, when the boy spoke in your voice. You realize now, this frequency doesn't broadcast, it reads. You open your notebook, hands trembling. Fresh page. You write FM 97.6, not a station, a recorder. Reads thoughts, repeats what was never said. But as you finish the line, the words begin to bleed. Not smudge. Bleed. Ink running like blood down the page, dripping off the bottom edge, soaking into your lap. You slam the notebook shut, toss it onto the passenger seat. The cruiser engine shudders. Your headlights flicker, and then the radio speaks one last time. The moment you hear your own voice, you're already being rewritten. You gun the engine. Turn off the road, onto a path with no markers, no name, just dirt and wire and the ghost of tire tracks left long ago. The signal weakens. Finally you flip the radio off again. This time it stays off, but the silence it leaves behind doesn't feel empty, it feels inhabited. Like someone else is still sitting in the cruiser with you, watching your hands on the wheel, waiting for you to speak again, so it can keep writing your voice into the script, like you're the dispatch. Call now, like you're just another memory on tape. You reach a ridge. Kill the lights. Breathe deep. You take out a backup recorder, analog, cassette, not digital. You click it on, you whisper, My name is Deputy Vega. If you find this, don't tune in, don't listen, don't respond. Don't believe your own voice. It lies. You hit stop. Eject the tape. Mark it with a pen. You won't listen to it. You'll leave it behind. For someone else. Someone slower. Someone more curious. You sit in the dark. Engine ticking, the first birds still haven't started. But you know they won't. Not tonight. Not until this story ends. And stories like this, they don't end. They loop. Like broken frequencies. Like haunted channels. Like FM 97.6. You check the mirror. Your reflection smiles. You didn't. The static never stops. And now, neither can you. The fields stretch flat for miles, broken only by the outline of a rotted barn sagging into itself. You don't remember how you got here. You only remember the sign you passed. 20 minutes ago, it said Hammond Feedlot, but the letters were upside down, not painted wrong, just wrong. Like someone rewrote this part of the world without knowing how spelling works. You haven't heard your radio since the last frequency. No more voices, no more voices, no more. Loops. Just the sound of tires on old dirt and the creeping sensation that the horizon behind you has sealed shut. The barn comes into view. You slow the cruiser. It looks abandoned. Sheet metal peeling off the roof, walls bowing inward, the faint smell of scorched hay in the air. You kill the engine, open the door. The silence outside is too thick. Even the crickets are missing. But there's something else. Light, faint, pale blue, pulsing from behind the barn. Not fire, not headlights. Something colder. Something patient. You draw your flashlight, step out. The gravel under your boots doesn't crunch, it sinks. Soft, wet, like walking on fabric. You round the side of the barn and stop. It's not a building back there, it's a circle. A perfect ring of standing halogen lamps. Old construction style floodlights, plugged into nothing, all facing inward. And in the center of the ring, there's a chair, same as the one from the trailer park, same as the one from the forest, same exact model, plastic, grey, worn. But this time, it's occupied. You can't move. You know the rules. Now, don't sit. Don't speak first. Don't break the circle. The air hums, not from the lights, but from the ground. A low vibration in your boots. You raise your flashlight and aim at the figure. In the chair, they're facing away from you, wearing your uniformed hair like yours, shoulders like yours. And when the light hits their hand, you see your notebook resting in their lap. Open pages, turning themselves, one at a time, flipping in slow rhythm. Like a priest at confession, you call out, not loud, not aggressive, just enough. Hey. The pages stop turning. The head begins to turn, slowly, methodically, and you see the face. It's you, but not now. Not exactly it's you. After. Something eyes too deep, skin too pale, cheeks hollowed, and the smile. It's like he knows what you did last night before you even remember it. He speaks without moving his mouth. You've been writing over me. Your throat dries. You take a step back. The floodlights flicker. One by one, they shut off clockwise. Each pop of silence closer to darkness. You turn to run, but the ground shifts beneath. You, not mud, not soiled paper, soaked pages, thousands of them, flattened into the earth. All with your handwriting, all bleeding. You fall. Hands dig into ink. Fingers smear memories you didn't write. You crawl toward the cruiser. The last light shuts off. Darkness collapses. You slam the door behind you. Lock it. Start the engine. The lights flicker once, then stabilize. The mirror shows nothing. No barn, no field, just road, just gravel, and in your lap your notebook, closed, dry, clean, clean. You open it first. Page, blank, second, blank, third, one sentence. You're not the original. You hit the mic. Dispatch. Confirm badge ID 6347. Deputy Vega. Confirm patrol identity. Confirm I'm me. No answer. Then a mirror of your voice. Confirm I'm me. Then again, confirm I'm me. Quieter, confirm, and then silence. You tear the mic from the dash, throw it into the back. Tires spin. You pull onto the road, but it doesn't feel like escape. It feels like transit, like a body. Switching tracks, mid-train ride, you check your reflection. It doesn't. Blink, you do. You test it again. It lags. You kill the dome light dark, but you know it's still watching. You feel it, like a copy made just a little too well, and now, maybe it thinks it deserves to take over. You drive, eyes forward, speed steady, not too fast, not too slow. That's how it catches you when you hesitate. When you slow down just enough for the chair to catch up, you pass a road sign. You're almost there. No name, no distance, just that, in capital letters, and under it, we forgive you. You don't know what for, but the tears come anyway, silently, like they've been waiting all night, like your real self is somewhere behind you, tied up in a barn, watching the lights shut off one by one. The static never stops. And maybe now you never did either. Maybe you're just the newest copy of someone who stopped moving at the wrong time, on the wrong call, in the wrong town. It's nearly 5:27 a.m. Your cruiser drifts through what feels like the last stretch of map. Trees have thinned. Even the stars feel tired. And somewhere behind you, the road you took is no longer there. Not because it disappeared, because you simply can't remember it anymore. You round a bend and see it ahead the bridge, the old red one, steel frame, wooden planks, single lane, no guardrails. You've crossed it before. You think back when you first took this job, or maybe during training, or maybe not at all, but tonight, it's waiting for you. The paint is flaked and rust-stained, but the bridge still stands stubborn and defiant, like a riddle that never gets answered. The sign before the entrance is simple. Cross slow, remember fast. You squint. That's not what it said last time. It used to say weight limit for tons. You pass the sign, the cruiser's tires rattle as they hit the planks. Each one sounds like a different note, like keys on a piano pressed in wrong order. The bridge creaks, but only when you stop thinking. The moment your mind wanders, the sound returns. Cree, E-E-E-A-K, Gree, E-E-A-K, like something below is matching your thoughts. You drive slow, because now you understand. The bridge doesn't want you to cross. It wants to keep you in the middle. That's where most of them stop. You've seen the names, scrawled in marker across the handrails, on sticky notes, pinned under wiper blades. Turned back, I stayed. The water was quiet. Halfway across, your radio chirps, you freeze. The voice that comes through is soft, familiar, your mother's. But she's been gone 10 years. You didn't tell me you left, she says. You said you'd stay near the porch until the thunder passed. You reach for the mic, then stop, because you remember that storm. You were 7. You had hidden under the house. You'd fallen asleep, clutching a flashlight. When you woke up, she wasn't there anymore. Not for hours. She thought you'd disappeared, and you never spoke about it again. But the voice now, it's from that night, exactly down to the cadence. You turn the radio off, but the voice continues. The thunder's not real. It's the knocking again. He's under the floorboards. Your hands grip the wheel. You press on, but the bridge feels longer now, stretching beneath you. The planks repeat, a loose one every 3rd tile, a missing bolt every 7th dot. You begin to count. You begin to hear the knocking dot from underneath, soft, steady, flesh against wood. You glance out the side window. The water isn't moving, but the reflections are. They flicker, they wave, and one of them raises a hand toward you, a reflection of a man who isn't in your car, but is waving from beneath the bridge. You don't look again. You face forward. The end is close. You see the gravel slope that leads off the bridge. Sunlight kisses the far trees, like they've been spared the weight of your night. Then a shape standing in the center of the exit. You hit the brakes. The cruiser groans. Your headlights fall across a deputy's uniform, hat low, hands at his side. UNMOVING. His namatag, Glinsviga. You step out. The air smells like copper and lightning. You approach the figure slowly. He doesn't react. When you're close enough to see his face, your legs lock, because it's you as you were yesterday, hair shorter, eyes brighter, no bags, no blood, no weight, and in his hand, your notebook pristine. He offers it. You don't take it. He speaks. Go back. There's still time to forget. You ask him, voice hoarse, what happens? If I keep going, he shrugs. You finish the report. Then he steps aside and walks off the bridge into nothing. You look down. The bridge is quiet. The knocking has stopped. You get back in the cruiser, drive the final 20 feet, tires, kiss, dirt. You're off. The sun peeks over the tree line, and you realize you're on the other side. You check your mirror. Nothing behind you now. No road, no bridge, no reflection, only mist, and one last word carved into the passenger side window, logged. You wipe it. It doesn't smear. You scratch at it. It's etched into the glass, and in your chest. The fear blooms again, because this wasn't a rescue route. It was a recording process, and now some part of you is archived, like all the others, like the voices, like the calls. You pick up your notebook, open to the last page. One line remains. The red bridge always takes something back with it. You look down. Your badge is gone again, and this time your nameplate to just a patch of Velcro left behind. You keep driving, not fast, not afraid, just forward, because the sun has risen. But the road is longer than it was before, and now the sky is red dot, just like the bridge. The static never stops, and somewhere behind you, a new voice speaks your name into the wire, testing the line, warming up the signal, preparing the next entry. It's 5:59 a.m., and for the first time tonight, you feel the dawn trying to claw its way through the sky. The trees shimmer with pale blue light. Birds murmur low, unsure if it's safe to begin singing again. But inside the cruiser, time has stopped, meaning what it used to. You look at your wrist. Your watch ticks backward, each second falling into the last dot. You shut your eyes, count your breaths, try to anchor yourself to something real. But the only thing real now is the voice that breaks the silence. Unit 3, confirm, end of shift report. The radio crackles. You didn't key the mic. You didn't request contact, but something is closing the loop. You hesitate. Your voice feels foreign in your throat. Like it's been borrowed still, you press the mic. This is Unit 3. Negative on final report. Still active. Still writing. A pause, then the reply. That's not protocol. You swallow. Your hand trembles on the wheel. You answer, nothing. About tonight was protocol. The voice changes. Less mechanical. More reflective. More like yours. You logged what couldn't be logged. You stayed in the broadcast too long. You heard what was meant to be erased. You gripped the mic. I needed to remember. Someone has to. Static then. Then you accept your final call. You want to say no. You want to drive until the tires melt, until the wires go silent, until the nameplate is yours again. But some part of you already knows. This is how it ends, with a choice, or the illusion of one. So you answer yes. The notebook on the passenger seat flips itself open. A pen you didn't place there slides from the cue folder. You glance over. The page is titled. Final entry. You lift the pen. Write slowly. Hands calm. Because if this is how it ends, you will be the one to say it. 5:59 a.m. Final dispatch. All previous logs fading. Voices continue. Some human. Some not. You pause. Look up at the windshield. The trees outside shimmer, but they don't move. Like a photograph caught in breath, you continue writing. I crossed every boundary. I sat in every chair. I spoke to the echo. I watched myself fade. And I kept writing. Because forgetting is how it spreads. Because silence is how it survives. Because I won't let it erase me quietly. You draw a line across the bottom. Sign your name. Vega. The pen clicks. Itself closed. The CB crackles again. A voice, faint, innocent. A child's whisper. I remember you. Then silence. Real silence. Not static. Not breath. Just dash nothing. The windshield fogs. Not from weather. From inside. From breath. That isn't yours. You don't wipe it away. You just sit. Hands folded. Letting the notebook glow in the first light of morning. And then you hear it. Not through the radio, but everywhere, all at once. The ringing, the dispatch tone, the one that starts. Every call beeped up. You glance at the panel. The screen is dark. No signal, no call. And yet the tone repeats, like it's calling for you now. You don't speak. You don't write. You just listen. And on the third ring, something shifts. The light outside bends, curling toward the cruiser like wind through trees. You blink. The world flickers. Once, twice. Once. Twice. You grip the wheel, and then you see it. The chair on the side of the road, facing you, empty, waiting. But this time, you don't stop. You don't investigate. You don't file. You pass it by, eyes forward, because you've already written the end, because you already sat there once, because you know what it costs. The chair fades behind you. The road stretches ahead, and finally you feel something lift. Not safety, but stillness. The kind that says you've done your part. You've remembered enough. For now. The sun breaks fully over the hills. Birdsong begins in cautious threads. You exhale for the first. Time in hours, maybe longer, and as the warmth spreads across your lap, you glance at the notebook. The final page is glowing faintly, and the last line written there not in your hand reads, "He made it to morning." The static never stops. But maybe now you can pull over for a while, just for a moment, just to breathe, because this chapter is over. But the broadcast is eternal, and someday someone else will answer, someone slower, someone more curious, and when they do, you hope they remember to keep writing. 6:14 a.m., the sun is up, but you don't feel it, not in the usual way, not as warmth, more like pressure, like someone pressing their fingers gently against your forehead. The roads look the same, but they feel wrong, too sharp at the turns, too still. At the straights, you pass fences with barbed wire that's looped in unfamiliar patterns. You see mailboxes turned inward toward the homes they serve, as if the letters were meant to be kept in, not sent out. And then you realize you're back, on Route 6, the one you swore you never took, the one that doesn't exist on your current map, but has always existed on nights like this. You take your foot off the gas, the cruiser coasts, and then the CB comes alive. No crackle this time, no breath, just a hum, low, heavy, and a single word whispered beneath it. Walking, you feel it before. You see it, a pressure shift, a tension in the power lines overhead. Crows lift from a nearby field in perfect silence, like they've all been told to leave at once. You look to the horizon. There's a figure, distant, thin, moving down the center of the road, not toward you, away, but every step leaves behind a ripple, like he's wading through fog so thick it warps. Reality, you slow the cruiser. Reach for the mic, but something in your bones says don't call this in. Don't log this one. This one logs you. You step out, no flashlight needed. The morning light is cold and grey, the kind that makes shadows sharper than they should be. You walk forward. Boots against asphalt, each step louder than the last. The man ahead is barefoot, pants shredded, shirt gone, spine twisted, but it's his head that catches you. It's covered in a shroud of tangled audio tape, spools of it unraveling behind him as he walks, dragging across the road. The reels click every few seconds, like they're still recording. You step closer, and the wind picks up, but it doesn't push you. It pulls the tape toward you, and as the strands brush your boots, you hear it voices your voice, the echo of last night's logs. Every phrase you spoke, every breath you held, even the moments you stayed silent, he recorded it all. You stop, call out, "Who are you?" The man halts, not suddenly, like he's been expecting this. He turns, slowly, no face, just the tangled reels over bone and muscle, and somewhere deep in that messer, single red light, blinking, recording. His body is hollow, but his presence, massive, like trying to look directly at a storm. He raises a hand, palm outward, and your mouth goes dry, because across the skin, etched with ink, ash, and blood, are names, dozens, hundreds, and near the center. Yours, he speaks, but not with a mouth. The tape reels spin. The radio in your cruiser clicks on. The mic in your hand buzzes, and all of them speak at once. You logged too much. You stagger back. He steps forward. You crossed into the narrative. Now you are part of the dispatch. You try to argue. You try to shout that you were only trying to remember, that someone had to, that forgetting is what lets it grow. But he lifts one finger. and all sound dies. Even your thoughts feel muted. He gestures once toward the ground, and a square of dirt peels away beneath it. A chair, plastic, facing upward, waiting. You've seen it before, everywhere, in the woods, by the barn, in your mind. You step back, shake your head. No, I won't sit. I know what that means. The reels spin faster, the tape winds stretch, forming a wide circle around the road, and your voice fragmented and broken echoes again from every speaker. I already did. You run, not toward the cruiser, toward the ditch. Tall grass slashes your arms. The world smears around the edges, but you keep moving. You trip once, twice, but you don't stop, because if you stop, you sit. And if you sit, you become a voice, like the others. Eventually, the tape goes silent. The figure doesn't follow. You reach a ridge and collapse behind a rusted fence post. Your hands shake as you pull your notebook free. First page, blank dot second page, blank dot last page. He walks the static. He logs the ones who speak. You flip again. Your handwriting appears mid-page, without your pen ever moving. You spoke, you listened, you tried to remember, so now you are remembered. The wind howls through the reeds. Your ears ring. The cruiser is gone. You never heard it start. You never heard it leave. But it's not there anymore. The sun climbs higher, but you remain in shadow. You open the notebook. Again, one final sentence forms as you watch. Do not tune in. Do not sit. Do not speak. Or he will walk toward you. The static never stops. But it's walking now, and every step is your name. 6:32 a.m. you walk, because there's no cruiser, no radio, no dispatch, just you, and the notebook that somehow remains warm in your hands. As if it has a pulse now, as if it's the only thing still alive in this hollow stretch of county. You try not to look at the horizon too long. It bends when you stare, tilts sideways like a bad television signal trying to stabilize, so you keep your eyes on the dirt road, on your boots, on the distance ahead. You pass no houses, no fences, only the skeletons of telephone poles, some leaning, some broken, none connected by wire anymore. The static doesn't need cables. It lives in memory now, and you have so many memories left to give. Eventually, you reach a gate, chain link, bent in the middle. A paper sign flaps lazily in the breeze, but it's waterlogged and smeared. You wipe it, try to read the ink, but it changes under your fingers. One moment it says, "Authorized personnel only," the next, "No words beyond this point." You check the lock. It's already open, like it's been waiting for you. You step inside. A building sits in the clearing, single story, concrete, windowless, familiar, but not from memory, from dreams. You approach the front door, push it open. The lights flicker on, no switch needed. The hallway stretches longer than it should. Filing cabinets line either wall, their drawers partially open, papers spilling onto the floor like entrails. You walk slowly, stepping over forms and pages. Each document carries your name, each one signed in your hand, and every one marked with a red stamp, void. You enter the back office, a single desk, fluorescent lights above, a fan spinning on low in the corner though the air is still. On the desk sits another notebook. Black dot, thicker than yours. Its pages curl slightly at the edges, like they've been read too many times. You sit this time, without fear, Because the chair isn't plastic, it's wood. It creaks under your weight. You open the notebook and your breath catches. The pages are filled front to back, all written by you. Every chapter of Tonight is there. The trailer park knock, the fire tower, the boy in the ditch, the gas pump, the barn, the echo, the man who walks the static. Every word you wrote, every word you thought, every word you didn't write, but meant to, it's all there. Perfect, clean, chronological, except one page near the center, it's blank, but not white dot black dot, as if the ink was poured across it like a flood. You touch it, it's warm, your finger leaves no mark, but your name suddenly appears on the bottom corner. Deputy Vega in red dot, like blood that's forgotten how to clot. The door behind you creaks open. You don't turn, you just ask, how does it end? The voice that replies is your own, with a report. You turn slowly. The man behind you is wearing your old uniform, pre-stain, pre-marred, pre-nightmare. He smiles, but it's not a welcome, it's an acknowledgement. He holds out a clipboard. It's the same final incident, report form used at your station. You take it, blank fields, open spaces, you begin to fill it out. Location, multiple. Time of incident, continuous. Nature of call, escalating. Status undocumented. Other units involved, all gone. Disposition, writing. You reach the signature line, but your hand won't move, because now the pen isn't yours. It's his. The man behind you places a hand on your shoulder. You don't flinch. He leans close and whispers, "This is the final log." And you don't write the last page. The static does. Then the lights flicker. The office around you shudders, and every paper in every cabinet begins to hum softly, like they're singing, a chorus of unsent messages, forgotten logs, redacted thoughts, all of them singing the same phrase. The report writes itself, because the writer never survives. You try to stand, but the chair holds. You down not physically, metaphorically, EXISTENTIALLY. You're rooted now, logged. The desk hums. The paper glows. The clipboard begins to melt into your skin. You scream, but no sound comes. Only print, black letters, spewing from your mouth. Paragraphs, footnotes, disclaimers. Your thoughts are being typed somewhere far away. A printer churns. Your last entry forms in ink. You manage one final breath, whisper one final thought. Let someone read this. And the man, your reflection, nods, takes the notebook, places it back on the shelf with thousands of others, and walks out of the room. The lights go out, the report ends, and you become the file. The static never stops, because even after the story's done, someone has to listen. It begins again. You feel it before you hear it. A low vibration beneath your feet, subtle, constant. Then the faintest ping, your eyes open. You're in the cruiser, no memory of getting there. No memory of turning the engine on. The headlights are off, but the dashboard glows softly. The clock reads 6:47 a.m. You shouldn't be here, and yet, here you are. Your radio whispers to life, a voice you haven't heard before, old, tired, male, Unit 3. Is that you? You don't respond right away. You're afraid of what it might say if you do, but you can't resist the pull. You press the mic. This is Unit 3, who's calling? A long pause, then the voice returns. The other end, been waiting a long time to talk to you. Your knuckles whiten on the steering wheel. You mean dispatch. The voice chuckles dry, paper thin. No, I mean the other end of every line you've ever opened. The side that answers when you don't expect it. You shiver. What do? You want closure. Another pause. I'm what's left of who listened before you. I used to patrol this same route. I picked up the same calls, heard the same voices. Your breath catches. You're a deputy. I was. Now I'm just part of the archive. You want to run, but you also want to know, because he speaks like someone who got further than you have. How do I stop it, you ask. The voice crackles. Don't you pass it on. You keep the line warm, because if the frequency ever goes quiet, that's when he walks in. You grip the mic. Who is he? The answer comes slow, like it hurts to say he was the first one who listened too long, the one who answered every call, logged every word. He tried to record everything, and now he is everything. The man from the static, the one with your voice, your badge, your steps. He's not a ghost. He's a recording, a living transmission, trapped in the wires, waiting to be played again. You ask the question you've been afraid to ask since the start. AM. I still real silence. Then define real. The line clicks, dead again. But your heart keeps beating, and that, for now, is enough. The sun climbs higher, but the light doesn't comfort you anymore. It just reveals more things that shouldn't be there. You drive north. The road is unfamiliar again. Pine trees line both sides, but they don't move with the wind. They lean toward the road, toward you, like they're eavesdropping. The shadows they cast don't match their shape. You test this, stop the cruiser. Step out, stand still, watch the trees don't move, but their shadows do. They twitch, shift, mimic you half, a second behind. One of them waves. You didn't. You retreat to the cruiser, slam the door, start the engine, but your reflection in the mirror smiles before you do. You pass an old firebreak trail. The sign reads, "Authorized loggers only." The G is smeared into a B. You park, step out again because something's pulling you. Not curiosity, compulsion. You walk into the woods. Each step is muffled, not by leaves, by distance. The moment you cross the threshold, the road behind you vanishes, not in fog, in forgetting. You can't recall which way you came. You look up. The branches have twisted into an arch dot at its center. A bird's nest made of police tape, old, tattered, marked with your department's call sign. Inside the nest, a cassette recorder. You reach up, play it. Your voice found the path. Trees wrong. Sky bent. Will keep moving. You never said that, but the voice is calm, clear, determined, and underneath it, another voice, layered. Darker, we remember him. We follow what he sees. You drop the recorder, it hisses, then goes silent. You run, branches claw your arms. The shadows try to match your pace, but you break free, stumble into the clearing, back to the cruiser, back to asphalt. You check your arms, scratch. Marks. Only one of them bleeds. The rest are ink. You write in the notebook. The forest is a transcription. I was nearly added to the archive. You slam the book shut, because you know now every step you take is being written down somewhere, and not all chapters have a choice. The next call comes as you approach Bridge Hollow, but it's not a call, it's a drip. A leak inside your cruiser. You pull over, The interior light flickers. Then you hear it call in voices, whispers rising from the AC vent. You lean close. Hold your breath. He's coming up for air. Don't let him remember the lake. Your stomach drops because you know what lake they mean. You drive east toward the old reservoir where the sheriff's son drowned 12 years ago, where no one ever swims anymore, where the dock was removed but the footprints still appear. You park by the edge, step out, the water is glass, but in the reflection, lights, emergency strobes. You turn, no cruisers, only you. You kneel at the shoreline, touch the surface, the ripples speak your voice again, but you're choking. Don't file this call, don't call for backup. You were there, you left, you collapse backward, heart racing, and now you remember, there was another deputy. That night you left him, and the water kept his voice. You whisper, I'm sorry, and the water finally moves. But not from wind, from something surfacing. Not a body, not a face, a tape recorder floating. You take it, press play. The voice speaks only one sentence. You're next to drown, but only in memory. You scream, toss the recorder into the woods, but the water keeps echoing. Drown in memory, drown in memory. You run to the cruiser, and for the first time, the engine doesn't start, because it remembers to. You don't remember arriving, just the hallway again. Endless white walls, one red door at the end labeled, recording in progress. You enter a room full of desks. Each desk holds a notebook. Each notebook is open. Each one has your name, but different stories, different patrols, different nights, different endings. You open one at random. Deputy Vega, case file number 1121. Found frozen at water's edge. Tape recorder clenched in hand. Mouth open, no sound. Another Deputy Vega, case file number 2198. Found seated in woods. Died of exposure. Notebook filled with scribbles, all in his own voice. You open a third dot and find this entry active, the only one not yet finished. Its pages are still forming. In real dash time, each word you think, each fear you feel is appearing in ink. You slam it shut, but the words keep bleeding through the cover. You whisper, I'm not done, and the room answers. Every notebook rustles, every page turns, and all the voices whisper back, but the writing is. You stand in front of a weathered radio tower. It wasn't on any map, but here it is, rusted, buzzing faintly, covered in vines that have grown in the shape of names. Each vine a call sign, a badge number, an officer who didn't make it out. The air pulses with frequency. You hear it in your molars. The tower is still active, and below it a single shack with a cracked red door. You enter inside a radio desk. Analog dials, spools of tape, a blinking red light labeled Live. You sit, because now you understand. This is where the static comes from, not where it's created, where it's rebroadcast. All the calls, all the memories, all the warnings whispered by deputies who never got to write their own final reports. You reach for the microphone. It's warm, like it's been waiting. You say, if you're hearing this, you're already part of it. The red light pulses faster. The walls vibrate. Tapes begin to spin on their own. The speakers broadcast your voice, but not what you just said, what you will say minutes from now. Words you haven't spoken yet. You grab the mic again. Who's out there? Who's still moving? A voice answers, Yours, but older. Dot comma, dot resigned, double quotes. No one, just echoes, and soon, you. You shut the broadcast down, unplug the power, but the tower keeps buzzing. No electricity, no fuel, still alive. The static doesn't need power. It feeds on memory, and there's just one left. You're back on the road. The air is too still. The tires hum, like they're on a loop. You take a turn, another. Then the road ends, dead end, but the sign reads, "Welcome back, Vega." You step out, and the world collapses inward. No sound, no light, just memory. You're 11 in the woods behind your old house. Your flashlight died hours ago. You hear footsteps, not adult, not child. Something in between. You crawl under a collapsed fence. Hide, but it finds you anyway, not with hands, with words. A whisper in your ear. Someday you'll remember this, and when you do, I'll write the rest. You forgot this moment until now. You wake with a jolt in the cruiser. It's morning, really. Morning, blue skies, chirping birds. But the world feels hollow, like a set, like the sky was painted fresh, just to trick you into thinking it's over. You reach for the notebook. One final line has appeared. You forgot to bury me. You look in the rearview mirror. The boy from the ditch is in the back seat, smiling. 8:12 a.m. You pull into the station. For real this time, same building, same flag, same dispatcher's car, but the parking lot is empty. You step inside, the front desk is lit, coffee, brews, but no one's there. You check the logbook, every entry is crossed. Out except yours, and yours is still being written. In real time. You write nothing, you just follow the sound. A faint hiss. The sound of tape coming from evidence room B. You open the door inside. Just one table, and on it, a reel-to-reel tape deck. Already playing. The label reads, VEGA, final. You listen. The first voice is yours, your last call, your last breath, your final thought, and then, the silence, deafening, permanent, then. Suddenly, a new voice. Not yours, not anyone's. A voice shaped by recordings, a patchwork of everyone who came before. You wrote long enough. We have enough now. Sleep. You wake up hours later at your desk, sunset. Outside, but no one around. You check your belt, no badge, just a spool of black tape where it should be, and the tape is spinning. The town feels abandoned, but not in the traditional sense. The grass is trimmed, doors unlocked, coffee still warm in diners, but not a single person, not even breath in the air. You drive street by street, hoping for anything, a light, a cough, a dog. Bark, but only one sound comes back to you, from every open window, every speaker, every traffic light blinking. Yellow, Unit 3 to dispatch. Unit 3 to dispatch. Do you copy? You stop. Because now the voice isn't just in radios, it's in you, in your blood, in your lungs. You cough, and your own voice echoes from the dashboard. You can't run anymore, because you're the signal. Now, you've been transmitting this whole time, ever since the first call, ever since the girl in the woods, ever since the static whispered, "Keep writing." You walk into the center of town. The chairs are there, dozens, all facing outward, all empty. Except one. You sit, because now it's time. Now you understand. You were never meant to survive this. You were meant to remember it, to write it down, to transmit. The broadcast begins again. You close your eyes. The final thought enters your head, unspoken but clear. We were all dispatch. But some of us answered, and the static, it never stops. It never needed to, because it was you. If you made it to morning, you already know not every call is meant to be answered. Not every sound in the night is for you, and not every voice on the other end of the radio is human, but someone has to listen. Someone has to file the report. Someone has to stay awake. So let this be your final note, from one deputy to another, from one writer to the next. If you ever hear static, and it sounds like your name, don't respond, don't log it, don't speak it, because once it hears you, it remembers you. And once it remembers you, you become part of the next transmission. This is Deputy Vega, signing off. If anyone's still out there, keep moving, keep writing, because the static, it never stops, and neither should you.